Okay, well, I'd like to thank everyone for being here on such a joyous occasion, and this has been a long time coming. Every time I walk past this wall, I'm blown away by how massive it is. The many names of men and women who over the years have served as city council members and helped shape the Wilmington into the great city that it is today. It's truly a sight to see. But this wall represents more than just a look at the makeup of various council sessions over the years. It also shows how far we've come and how much we've evolved as a legislative body, both in size and diversity. So I applaud former Councilman President Ted Blunt, who recognized the awesomeness of Wilmington City Council's history and came up with this vision to tell the story in such an impactful way. Thanks again, Ted. And with this election, that's right. And with this election of our first female council president in 2016, this was the perfect time for a final formal collaboration of the display of our city's history. I invite you to just stand here for a moment and take time to study the wall and experience how awesome it is. And hopefully now we can continue to move Wilmington forward. To all of you who come out today to help us celebrate this tremendous display of our city's history, especially those who serve as elected officers in the city council or for the city of Wilmington, we thank you all for your dedication and coming out tonight. Thanks again. And next, I would like to bring up Council President Hanifa Shabazz.
Thank you, Councilwoman Oliver. This is a commemorative time for us to recognize the great history of the City of Wilmington's legislative branch of government. I would like to take an opportunity now to recognize the 107th session of council members that are here with us. We have Council Member Michelle Harley. Thank you for joining us for the 4th District. We have Council Member Trippy Ernest Congo from the 1st District. We have Councilwoman at Large as well, Rashima Dixon, and Councilman for the 8th District, Councilman Charles Bud Friel. You know, being the first woman president, I've had an opportunity to serve under 3 presidents of council as well as 3 mayors. And so, you know, looking back on the history of the city council and where we have evolved our city to be today, you know, I just want to thank all of you for being that example of what a public servant looks like, giving us the wherewithal to know how to be responsive to our constituents, to know how to do the necessary research, and to creating legislation that will continue to move our city forward. But also the major thing is to really help us to focus in on what our responsibility is as a city council legislator. I know many of us have the passion of wanting to do the necessary things that we feel are in a community organizing or social service type aspect, but I just want to thank all of you, all of the leaders before us that are so noted on this wall, that you really gave an example to myself, and I'm quite sure I'm speaking on behalf of other members of council, exactly what being the legislative branch of government means to write the policies and laws by which our city flourishes. And so, again, I just want to thank each one of you. Congratulations on this being involved in this commemorative event. And a special thank you to Councilwoman Oliver to her due diligence in working along with former President Blunt in making this come to back. And I also want to say thank you to Edie and Bridget that was also helpful for doing this great event today. I do see other former council members. I'd like to take the privilege of recognizing former council member JW. I call him JW, Justin Wright, Councilman at Large. Thank you for joining us. And with that, I would like to bring up former President Ted Blunt.
Councilwoman Bolden was also a former member of City Council. I know. Thank you. Who's that? Oh, I'm going to take care. I know what to do. Didn't you learn anything? Let me start off by first thanking Councilwoman Oliver, as well as Council President Shabazz, for seeing the value of doing something like this to memorialize all of those that have served in the past as well as those that are serving right now. It's not an easy job, and so I'd like again to thank both of them for doing it. My second task was to acknowledge the former presidents. He's not here right now, but the first would be Council President Jim Baker, the second would be Councilman Norman Griffiths, and the third would be Councilman Theo Gregory. All of us served under Jim Baker during his term as president. And again, I'd like to acknowledge all that he did during his time. The idea for doing this really started with three people. One was Edie Pridgeon. The second was our Chief of Staff, Charlotte, is it Barnes? Charlotte, yeah. And then, thanks to the two of them, who was it? Was it Lynn Howard? Thank you. Anyhow, Lynn Howard, Charlotte Barnes, and Edie Pridgeon, who pretty much carried forward the vision in terms of doing something that we could memorialize in the city-county building. And so Edie met with Mitchell Associates, and they designed this wall for us, and they shared it back with us before it was actually put up. But the information from the wall came from a book put out by Don Devine that talked about the history of City Council. All the names that you see up here are in this book. This book is current up to 2007. So Don Devine was really the one that gave us the information that we needed to put all of the names on the information in the back. We don't have all of the pictures, but we do have a lot of the pictures from previous years. The notables during my time were, number one, we've had the first black mayor in the city of Wilmington under Jim Sills. But very few of us remember when Jim Sills was a city councilman at large, and he was the first black city council member at large. We also had the first three-term mayor in Jim Baker, and Jim Baker served for 16 years as the president of city council as well. So he had 16 years as president and 12 years as mayor and another 12 years as a city councilman, which gave him 40 years of service to the city of Wilmington. So again, that's pretty much the story, but the purpose for the wall was to let people, as they walk by, to take at least a look and to see who is currently serving and who has served. And again, I'd like to thank the members of City Council, the President of City Council, and most importantly, Oliver Xanthia, for saying, you know what, I'd like to do something special. And so it was really her idea to do this. And I just came along for the ride. So again, thank you, Xanthia.
I'm sorry, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Edie, because she knew everything. She knows all the history. So when I mentioned it to Ted, and then he said, well, Edie knows everything. She's been helping me out for a couple of months. So thanks again, Edie. I'd like to see, we have Senator Darius Brown here, and my council colleague Adams at large. If y'all like to stand up? No? It's so crazy. Okay, next I'd like to have, oh yeah, I'm sorry. State Representative Stephanie T. Bowden. I'm sorry, this is one of my mentors who wasn't acknowledged. I'm sorry. I'm great, tell him to come up here. Yeah, and we have Mr. Ortega's here. I'm sorry, would you like to stand up? Would you like to say a few words? Yeah. That's okay. I'd like to have Mr. Gregory come up here and say a few words.
In my younger years, I would say that I was lucky to be able to serve my community. And in my more seasoned years, I say that I was blessed to serve my community, and I'm just blessed to still be alive and to be here serving. I often say, and I'm going to be short with this, as a baby of the 60s, watching what happened with Martin Luther King and Kennedy and Malcolm X, it was embedded in me and people in my generation to serve. one of the things we were supposed to do was go forth and serve, not go forth and make a lot of money, but go forth and serve. So I was blessed to be able to do that. I thank God for that. And thank you for bringing this to a commemorative status so that we can enjoy the wall for future years. Thank you.
And I would like to acknowledge 107 session. We did finalize this. And if y'all like to stand up, I appreciate it. Okay, next I'd like for Mayor Mike Purzycki to come up and say a few remarks, please.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ted Blunt, you ought to be happy you're here for the ride, because I looked at this wall, and if you look, the only one who's got big pictures is Blunt, 2 of them. You can't see anybody else. Oh, Anita's got a big one. You were behind the podium. I didn't see it. But I looked at it, I said, oh, Blunt's over there? Blunt's over there? Well, okay there, Hollywood. So, Mayor Sills, I saw you and I thought, you know, the one thing that the mayor and I have in common is we know one thing. The hardest decision that a mayor will ever make is whether to call the school closed for snow. And I'm looking there today and they're calling me, it's snowing, it's dangerous, call the day off. And I'm thinking it's gonna rain. Oh my God, it's not gonna rain, now what? So I know Jim's been there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me here on what is clearly a council event, but I'm very happy to be asked to be here. I believe deeply that we are our story. We are all individuals. We have a story about ourselves that makes us feel good about ourselves, and hopefully deservedly so. But cities have stories, governments have stories, and it would be tragic if we ignored the story of council and everything the councils have done over the years, through the criticism and through the little bit of humiliation that occurs with it, and the highs and the lows. All the people who serve in the city deserve to be remembered. I had a remarkable experience about, was it 3 weeks ago or so, when we dedicated the Dutch Burton Memorial over on 9th, is that 9th? But the whole time I was thinking, I said, here's a guy who served on city council. He's a city councilman who just made his mark in the world because he believed so deeply to what he was doing. But that comes out of this experience of serving, and as Theo described it, you know, that's what we do. People say, why did you do that? I don't know why I did it. I did it because it felt that's the right thing to do with our lives, and it's the most rewarding thing. And so you're doing the right thing by remembering everybody the way you are. I would just remind all of you, this is a little bit like being an old football player. The great thing is that as time goes on, you get better and better every time you tell a story. You did more and more good things. So just time goes on, believe me, you got a lot to look forward to. Thank you all. I'm so happy to be with you.
Okay, first, I'd like to say that Jim Baker couldn't make it. For some reason, he didn't get his mail, and I really feel bad because I just called him, and we've been calling him all week, talking to him, and he's probably been wondering why that. We've been calling him, asking questions, and I'm just assuming he had his mail. So he didn't get it, and he told me to tell everybody hi, and I feel bad about that. But next, we'd like all the past to come up so we can give you a form of dedication from Session 107. Michelle, you want to come up, or Hanifa, please, both of you come up so we can get these out. I guess we can start with the presidents first.
Here comes Jim.
Oh, good. Here it comes. Well, let's let him say a few words. Let him say 2 words.
Yeah.
Woo! Let him say 2 words. I feel bad. 2 minutes. Okay. Rebecca, please come up and say a few words. I'm sorry. I feel so bad.
We talked about you for the last one.
I said, please say a few words.
What, are we supposed to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk about the history of city council.
History of city council. Oh, geez, forget that. Anyways, it's great to be here. I didn't even know this was going on tonight. I'm sorry. But I was enjoying, I don't know where the mayor was, but I was enjoying the TV and saying, I'm not going anywhere. And then she calls, where are you? Okay, so I got through the mess, but it's a nice thing to see all of the former council members and council presidents and the current council members and former mayor. All of us former people are sort of happy we're former. I think anybody that's been in office knows it's not an easy job. It's very difficult. And people think it's easy because all they see are the sides of the cutting ribbons and that kind of thing. But all of the issues that have to be addressed are just constant, and they're quite complicated. And with good staff, because like I used to tell my staff, I don't know what to do. I'm the dumb one. You guys are going to have to be the smart people because you got to tell me where I'm supposed to be and what's going on. And it was great working with Ted and Norm and Theo. You guys had a tough job having 12 eagles going all kind of ways and trying to make it work. And I think you can sympathize with the current president and trying to deal with city council. So thank you all for this remembrance of city council and for all the work. I think everybody that's been in the mayor's office or been on city council or the presidency all wanted to see a better city. I forgot about Henry because Henry Sapinski did such a great job as treasurer. He saved our bacon quite a few times on the investments and bringing in money when we didn't have any at all. So thank you all for your dedication to this great city. And you new members, remember one thing, you don't know very much right now. You think you do, but you don't. That's one of the things you learn over about a 8-year span, you start learning. And usually your first term, you end up fighting each other more than you do learning about the process of city government. This is a great city. Don't ever give up on it. Don't let the Journal or anybody talk about how bad this city is. This is a great city. It's always been a great city. We've always had good leadership in this city and trying to make the city a better place. So thanks you, Mayor, for stepping up. I don't know which one was worse, but Riverfront or the mayor, either one you got criticized, so he ought to be having fun right now. So thank you all, and congratulations to all of you.
If I may, there's one person that we did not give recognition to that we can't forget because of the long time that he served the city of Wilmington and made sure that we were in compliance with our law, with our code, our charter, and that's former city solicitor John Sheridan. So you want to give out? Okay. Okay.
Okay, first we'd like to call up the council members, former council members. Not you.
Well, if I can, this is just a small token for the 107th session of council to present this little token of our appreciation of your being a former leadership and showing us the way, and to remember this special moment.
Thank you.
The first president pro tem.
Our former first female president pro tem, state representative, former city council member, Stephanie T. Bolden.
T's for terrific.
Okay, who's going up? Okay.
Next. Former President Griffin. Again, another token of our appreciation.
Thank you, sir.
She goes here.
Theo, President Theo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
President Blunt. To former President Baker, then
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
You too. I gotta kiss all the ladies. Maybe my last chance to do all this.
thank you. Former Councilman Justin Wright. Councilman Ortega.
Councilman Ortega.
Thank you, thank you.
And former mayor and councilman, Jim Sears.
I'll take my
You want to say something? Please.
Very briefly, want to thank the City Council ladies for this honor. I feel in many ways I should be honoring the city. I came here in 1959, and some of you have heard me give this story before, but I came here in 1959 and didn't know a single person in this city. Got off the train and the bellhop said, go to the YMCA and they can help you find a place for your family. And in the intervening years, I've had the honor of taking on a number of leadership positions, city leadership positions, and I feel blessed to have had those experiences. And I feel blessed to have been a resident of this city since 1959. I raised my kids on the east side. We lived there for 36 years. And so in many ways, I owe this city a great deal. Thank you very much.
So we have former Darius Brown, Senator Darius Brown.
He was city sister, he was a city council. You want to hear it to him? You want to say? Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, you still want to give the sister and okay.
And,
You want to give it to John?
yeah,
Okay.
John, no, that's his son.
No, that's just former city solicitor.
Gotcha. Oh, that
Right.
was a council.
No, he's city solicitor.
I did.
John
Well, you
Sheridan.
know, you give it to him. I thought we did. So his father was a solicitor. No, he's like,
No, he was. I'm telling you. John,
his father was a councilman. That's why I'm confused.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want to give one also to Henry because he was a former.
Yeah.
Give one to Henry.
Call him up.
Okay.
Because I didn't ask him.
Henry Sapinski, former treasurer. We know that they might not have been members of city council, but they were very instrumental in making city council function along with the operations of the city. So giving them the recognition as well.
So Mayor Mike Pazicki, would you like to come up, please, and get yours? Can't leave you out.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. So now we want to call up. Yeah. Okay, now we'd like to call up the current city council members that's here. We can start with Councilwoman Dixon at large. Thank you. Next, we have President Pro, Trippy Congo. Pro Tip, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And next, we'd like to call at large Serial Adams. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Pleasure. And next, I'd like to call up, determine this thing work. And next, I'd like to call up Bud Friel, who helps us all the time. Yeah, he got his. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Justin got his. Who got yours, Justin? Justin got it. Yeah, I thought so. So that everyone get one. And we'll send one too. Okay. You want to say, you okay, Michelle? Michelle Harley, let me give you yours. You don't walk away. And Michelle Harley, she's going to just take yours and walk away. You say, no, go. Yeah. Oh, Madam President, would you like to say a few words, sir? Oh, I didn't give you yours. You didn't get yours. And we want to give one to Madam President Hanifa Shabazz, first female president of City Council. I love you.
Well, again, this has really been a historical moment, and thank you all for coming out in this weather to recognize the individuals who led the path for us. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for all the things that you have instilled in me and instilled in all the other members of council, and what the great things that you have done in your historical time of serving for our great city of Wilmington. Because without you and what you did before us, we would not be where we are today. Again, thank you for being the example of public service and having your name up on this memorable wall and making this day the day that it is. Again, thank you very much.